A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. How long it's going to last?
This doesn't look anywhere near completion.
Instead of a pool, homeowners are left with a hole in the ground.
We paid them $135,000. Now we have to pay another company to come back and finish it.
Employees behind the contracting company now contacting Denver 7 to tell their side of the story.
We obviously feel betrayed.
Governor Polis signs an executive order protecting workers and abortion rights for all. And Colorado law enforcement make one of the biggest fentanyl busts in state history.
If this fentanyl gets on the street tonight, it could kill somebody.
And first tonight at 5, there have been at least 10 tornado warnings issued for eastern Colorado over the last hour and a half. The most recent tornado warning extended until 5:30 for Morgan County.
This is video showing just how quickly the weather deteriorated in Fort Morgan from our Viero camera. So far, we have not heard of any funnel clouds touching down.
There's also severe thunderstorm warnings across our state, which could bring 50 to 60 mile-an-hour winds. Wow. All right, let's get to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson.
And Mike, some areas could also see some golf ball sized hail.
We have not had very many of these days so far in this hot, dry summer, but we have one this afternoon. The severe thunderstorm watch is in effect across the northeast corner of the state, and that does include the I-25 corridor all the way out to Kansas, Nebraska. That's till 9 o'clock tonight. As far as the stormy areas, the strongest activity has been a little bit to the east of the Denver area so far for the afternoon hours, and we're not seeing as much action here in the city yet, but we're not out of the woods yet. To the south of us, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect in the Black Forest area. We have a couple of scattered stronger storms across the Denver area. We have a flash flood warning up on the Cameron Peak burn scar, but let's focus in on that tornado warning. This is in the Morgan County area. The area that you see in the blue, that's evident of large hail in between Fort Morgan and Brush right along Highway 34. We could see some hail that would be in a diameter up to about an inch, and there's been rotation with this storm. It means the whole storm is spinning. That's what we see with the Doppler radar. That's why we've issued the warning. This is our live Viero camera look right now in Fort Morgan. We're looking off to the east-northeast, so it's improved a little bit in Fort Morgan, but it's tough times over toward Brush. We'll keep an eye on that during the course of this newscast. How about Denver? This is what the skies have looked like during the last 2 hours. There's still thunderstorm activity possible here, perhaps severe, until mid-evening. So the watch goes until 9 p.m. Heavy rain, hail, lightning, isolated tornadoes are possible. And there's more storms on the way for Thursday, followed by hot conditions heading into the weekend. I'll have your full 7-day coming up in a few minutes.
All right, we'll keep checking back. Thank you, Mike. And for the most up-to-date weather alerts and forecasts for your neighborhood, you can always visit thedenverchannel.com. You can also get the very latest on the free Denver 7 Plus app. It's available to download right now on your streaming device.
Today, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office confirmed a male tuber who was pulled from Clear Creek yesterday has died. This is the second death on Clear Creek within the past 3 days. Officials are now warning everyone that the river along Highway 6 is dangerous and make sure that they have the proper equipment to use in the creek.
Today, Governor Jared Polis took action to protect reproductive rights for people in Colorado and other states. The governor's executive order protects Colorado workers from facing any disciplinary action for providing reproductive health care, which includes abortions. Governor Polis is also making it clear the state will not cooperate with any criminal or civil cases in other states for people seeking abortions here in Colorado. Now, tonight, we are going in depth on the governor's executive order and the protections it provides, and you can watch that tonight on Denver 7 News at 10.
More than 100 pounds of pure fentanyl and 200,000 pills now off Colorado streets. 8 people have now been indicted in one of the biggest drug busts in state history. Denver 7's Megan Lopez was at today's announcement and joins us live in Centennial.
And Megan, the law enforcement agencies were not mincing words about just how big this drug bust was.
Yeah, not at all, Ann and Jessica. They said at the press conference that they feel like the public is getting a little bit tired about hearing about the prevalence of fentanyl and the deaths caused by that drug, but they want to make it absolutely clear that this problem is only getting worse as the market gets more saturated with it.
Sometimes big things start small.
This case originated from a tip out of DEA in Wyoming.
A tip that led local law enforcement and the DEA to a drug dealer and a single purchase in December. One purchase that
leads to additional purchases, which leads to wiretap investigations, which leads to seizures outside of apartments, and on the highway.
That wiretap investigation was months in the making. It led to a grand jury indictment, the arrests of 8, and an unprecedented drug bust.
The largest seizure in this case resulted in roughly 170,000 fentanyl pills being seized.
Another 114 pounds of pure fentanyl powder were found in a car on I-70 near Georgetown on June 6th.
I believe that falls into the concern category of weapons of mass destruction. 114 pounds of fentanyl, one car headed into one city at any given time, is an egregious concern. 25 million people could perish.
28,000 more pills were found in a car on I-70 headed toward Tulsa.
The Denver metro area is seen as a distribution point for the rest of the country.
Colorado's new fentanyl law went into effect on July 1st, but because the busts happened before then,
it's going to be prosecuted under the old the old law system. That being said, because of this such high amounts of drugs in this case, it really doesn't change any of the real sentencing paradigm.
They will still be prosecuted as felonies. However, importing the drugs could have been considered a Class 2 felony under the new law had this drug bust happened a few weeks later. Since the investigation was months in the making, we asked why they didn't wait.
This fentanyl gets on the street tonight, it could kill somebody, and most likely will. We have to act. We don't have a choice.
But DA John Kellner says Colorado still needs more legislative changes if law enforcement is truly to tackle the problem.
Until we have greater enforcement statewide, until we have greater information sharing and fusion of intelligence across different parts of this state, I think we're not going to be able to get the biggest impact possible.
Carla Estefania Ramos Vasquez is accused of running that operation. Officials say that the drugs came from Mexico, were trafficked in and through Colorado, and then she would use her money remitter business that was in Denver in order to send small amounts of cash from the profit from those drugs back to Mexico. Her co-conspirator has not yet been arrested, but again, very stark language, very stark words being used by the officials at this press conference. I'm live in Centennial. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, Megan, thank you for that. And a new report out of Uvalde, Texas, has revealed an armed officer had the Robb Elementary School gunman in his sights, but that officer did not pull the trigger. And that officer instead requested permission to shoot from his supervisor. And he never heard an answer and never took the shot. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed inside that school.
Tonight, we're learning new details about the victims of Monday's 4th of July shooting at a parade in Highland Park, Illinois. A mother and father were among the 7 victims. They leave behind a 2-year-old boy. Family members now revealing that the father shielded his son from the bullets.
I don't know how they're going to tell him. How do you tell an 18-month-old boy that mommy and daddy are in heaven now?
Today, the gunman confessed to the shooting, telling investigators he seriously contemplated carrying out a second attack at a celebration in Madison, Wisconsin.
Last week, Denver 7 told you about a Boulder-based company that was taking customers' money to build a pool only to leave a mess in their yard.
Now, Denver 7 has learned that the Boulder District Attorney's Office is investigating Mountain Sky Landscaping. Denver 7's Bayan Wang has tonight's follow-up.
This doesn't look anywhere near completion.
No, 25 to 30% complete is what everybody has told us.
That's what $135,000 got Leanna Bell and her family in southeast Aurora after hiring Mountain Sky Landscaping to install a pool at their home earlier this year.
We didn't think anything of it until we got a text message saying that they were filing for bankruptcy and they couldn't complete our project.
Several other customers received the same text message in recent weeks from the Boulder-based company.
Hey guys, my name is Shiloh.
Which is operated by the founder's 2 teenage sons, Luca and Shiloh Churchill. In the message, the company claims that a former worker embezzled company money, forcing them to begin filing for bankruptcy. Now, the Boulder District Attorney's Office confirms they are investigating the company, saying in part, "We are in the very early stages of reviewing those complaints and determining whether criminal charges are appropriate or not."
We're just out a ton of money, and now we have to pay another company to come back and finish it.
She's not the only one. Castle Rock resident Walter Nichols also contacted Denver 7.
Our pool is broken in half. It's not functioning. The waterfalls do not work.
But here's the thing, that pool was supposed to be finished months ago. Watch this social media post the company has since removed regarding Nichols' property.
How's it going, guys? We're on day 2 here of this $250,000 project in 18 days. Everything's gonna happen very quickly.
That was far from the case.
It's been far more than 18 days. It's been over 6 months.
Denver 7 also spoke on the phone to a former Mountain Sky landscaping employee and 2 of their former subcontractors. They all say they moved on from the work based on their experiences. The company is involved in at least 2 lawsuits, one of them filed last week alleging civil theft, fraud, and breach of contract. Attorneys for the company did not respond to our request for comment. In the meantime, Luca Churchill started a new business in June called Gold Standard Outdoor Living LLC, while his other company is in the spotlight.
I can't imagine taking people's money in good faith and leaving up with this.
Bayan Wang, Denver 7.
It gave me like another motivator to continue to push myself even further.
Going above and beyond for his team. A Colorado wrestling coach wants to get his team to the biggest stage of them all.
I said, you know what, if any of you qualify, I will personally pay for you to get there.
Plus, the president makes a promise to WNBA player Brittany Griner.
Any U.S. held hostage abroad, we need to bring back safely.
And Colorado's housing inventory is up.
But it's the interest rates that are holding buyers back.
You know, interest rates have such a big impact on buying power.